Before we go on to constructing our door, we're just going to quickly draw the backing panel for our display cabinet. So we're just going to start by selecting the plane. So we'll select the front plane and we're just going to select sketch, G for corner rectangle, left click and drag, and we're going to make this 400 millimeters by 268 millimeters, and then we will extrude that 3 millimeters. Scroll down the bottom here, part 13, rename, and we name it backing. Okay, we can just quickly jump into the assembly studio now. I'm on the back of the cabinet here right now, so we're just going to attach that part that we just drew. So left click insert, go to backing, left click, click on our green tick now. Let's just rotate this around and 90 degrees, and we'll grab this one here, rotate that 90 degrees as well. This makes life a little bit easier, and we'll just fasten this now to the back of our cabinet. So M for fasten mate, zoom in on this corner here, try and get the blue, get that blue axis pointing upwards. There we have it. Zoom back out, zoom right in on this corner, left click and green tick. We now have a backing on our cabinet. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and begin to construct our door to go into the front of our display cabinet here. First we need some dimensions. So how wide and how high is our door going to be? So if I just click on this edge right here, left click once, and then zoom in on this edge on this style here, left click once. You can see down the bottom here it gives me the parallel distance, which is 230 millimeters. Okay, we're going to give our door a little bit of room to move on either side, so we're going to give it a 2 millimeter gap either side. So then our door is going to end up being 226 millimeters wide. We'll do the same thing for working out our height. So clicking on this edge here and this edge here, 275 with 2 millimeters of play each side, it's going to end up being 271 high. Alright, so if we jump back into our part studio now, let's hide that backing and we'll start to draw our stiles or the side pieces of our frame for our door. So again, selecting the front, we're going to go sketch. Let's start off with a corner rectangle, or G for rectangle. Left click and drag. I'm going to make this 19 millimeters wide by 271 millimeters long. I'm now going to extrude that 19 millimeters and solve that. Okay, before we go any further, just quickly rename it. So right click, rename, door side, enter. Okay, we're going to draw another housing similar to what we did for our draw base, Okay, and on our styles, so starting with left click on sketch, left click on the face here, L for line, Q for construction. Come down to this bottom corner, left click once, come up. We're going to come up 8 millimeters. Enter. And escape. We're now going to grab our corner rectangle tool again, so G, left click once, and go all the way across, left click. We want to keep this at 271 and then 3 millimeters. Enter. Okay, escape. Click on this geometry, left click once, delete. Come in, select our rectangle we've just drawn, extrude, remove, and give this a 3 millimeter depth. Okay, we've now got our housing. Alright, so now I want to rotate this to the top. So if I double click on top here, I can see the top part, or the top face of this door side. I want to go with my sketch again, and then left click on that face, L for line, Q for construction. Starting at this corner, left click once, come across, left click again, 19, enter, and then I can come up here. I'm going to join it to this corner, but before I do, I want to change it back to a normal line. So I'm just going to press Q, and that line should go solid. It has, and I just left click on that corner and hit escape. Repeat that step on the other end here. So L for line, Q for construction, left click once, coming in 19 millimeters, enter. Q to go back to a solid line, up to that corner, left click, escape. Okay, now what you want to do is just drag this geometry out of our way. Left click on that triangular face there, and left click on that triangular face there. We're going to extrude. We're going to remove that material and type in 19 for our depth. You should have a nice mitered edge here, or ends to your door sides, okay, with your housing, 3 millimeter housing still there. Okay, we're going to repeat that same process one more time, and that's going to be our door top and bottom. Okay, so I'll hide that side, come back in, select the front, left click sketch, G for rectangle. Okay, I just need to orientate my drawing here. It looks like I'm on the wrong side. There we go. Okay, and our height is going to be 226 by 19. Zoom in on that. Extrude 19 millimeters. And solve that. Come down to part 15, right click, rename, door, top, bottom. And we just repeat the process like we did for the door side. So we'll start with our housing, sketch, select our face, L for line, Q for construction, left click on that corner once, come in, left click again, 8mm, escape, G for rectangle, left click on our construction point here, come all the way down the bottom there, left click again, and 226, enter, and 3, enter, press escape, left click on this geometry and delete it. Okay, and now we're going to remove the material for our housing, so selecting that rectangle we've just drawn, left click extrude, remove, and to 3mm. Done. We now have our housing. Come around on the right face here, zooming in, select sketch again, select that face, L for line, Q for construction, making sure we are drawing on the same edges where our housing is. Left click once, come down, left click again, 19mm, enter, Q, so it goes to a solid line, come up to that corner, left click and escape, and repeat the process down the bottom here. Select our two triangles, extrude, remove, 19mm, and done. You now have your top and bottom pieces for your door. There's one more step left to do, and that is to create your veneer panel to go in the front there. Okay, we're just going to create a basic panel to slide in there, but you can create any sort of design that you want now using the skills that you've got to come up with some fancy patterns and designs that you might think you'll do for your display cabinet in the workshop.